We live, we are alive, we live, we live. You feel me? Now, the topic for this live is, are you a kept person? Now, I want to stay on topic. So as you come in, put some emoticons in the air. Show me how you're feeling. Now, the reason why I'm asking, are you a kept person, is because so many want to be kept. Now, I'm not making reference to, do they keep you? My question is, are you a kept person? That means financially. When you acquire a relationship, is it a relationship of convenience or is it a relationship of finance? Because it makes a difference. When you hear, I'm a kept woman, that's a reference to her finances, her livelihood. That means that when she's with a man or a male, they take very good care of her. Now, what I notice is there's a little bit of specks, like confetti, sprinkles of males that feel like they should be kept. Now, because I was scrolling my timeline and I said, this is something interesting to talk about. You very rarely see successful women that intertwine themselves with males that want to be kept. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but we're talking about the industry per se. When you see these celebrity marriages, everyone assumes that the man makes the most money. And because everyone assumes that the man or the male makes the most money, they feel like the woman, the female, is the one that benefited from that arrangement. The thing about when it happens to women and females is they tend to not harp on it. When you Google things like people's net worth and all of that, y'all must understand that it's not always accurate. It has a lot to do with timing. When the person decided to get all of this information unethically and present it. If you knew that you were being entertained by a kept male, would that change your perception? Greetings. We want to normalize the real experience when we have relationships with people. I was one that talked about prenuptial agreements early on, about 5 years ago. There was a group, right, that I picked up on. Whether or not if they were currently married or getting married, the prenup was highlighted because these are men, women, males, and females of affluence, not influence, affluence. That makes a difference. And because they have affluence, not influence, that means they have some sort of finance. When you get with someone, you don't look at them and say that they're going to take me for all of the money that I do not have right now. We're talking about something in the future. And this is no secret. I've spoke about 3-year karmic contracts, 7-year karmic contracts, 20-year karmic contracts. When I'm talking about 3, 7, and 9, I'm talking about paperwork. When you get into a relationship that is karmic in nature because of the karmic past life energy, there's a contract involved. With the 3-year ones, it's a little bit different because those are intertwined with children and not necessarily paperwork. That means you're going to have a child or you have a child with someone from your past life that you have karmic energy with. The relationship will last 3 years. Usually there's no money involved, not enough to where it's affluent. When you talk about the 20-year contract, those are the ones where they've accumulated a lot of assets. They got accounts together, businesses, children, stocks, bonds, and all other type of stuff. And not just that, people. They have people that are rooting for them to stay together, even though they can't stand one another. But after 20 years, the truth trickles out. More than likely, you've met several soulmates that you've entertained being with. But you can't. Because something is binding you. That paper is an MOFO. You start off, everything is hunky-dory. We're in love, we're building, and then all of a sudden, someone ascends. And you either see the nasty side of them or the trifling side of them when it's a karmic contract involved. A lot of males believe that when you marry females, now they're gonna say women, that means everything goes all bad. This is the belief amongst males with money. I'm not going to marry this female, but they say woman, because they're not going to do right after. Now that you're a little bit more advanced, you know that ascension has a lot to do with it. This is something that they can't help because they are kept. Okay? They are kept. They appeal to everything that you want. Everything. They're sitting there studying. So we're gonna, you know, they got all kind of books. They done took classes, you know, just to appeal to your desires. And then all of a sudden, Ray Ray comes in. You don't know Ray Ray there, but she do. And she said, you know what? This is good. I'm gonna keep this. But Ray Ray, he be plumbing. You know what I'm talking about? And then you have another person there. And you get snide and sure, honey, I'll see you when you get back 3 months from now. It's fine. This is how relationships go when you have money. Because you gotta make money, right? You gotta travel, you gotta, you know. Ray, he's up and coming. You know, Ray, you know, it could be Pookie, it could be Ray, it could be Samuel, you know. What's another one? Stefan? I'm joking. Let's dissect Stefan. That's a nice name there, Stefan. Yeah, my name is Stefan. You know what I'm saying? You mean Steven? No, Stefan. Yeah. Stefan may have money, you know, but we don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Before I go off topic, right, I'm going to talk about the energy surrounding these karmic contracts. If you happen to make it 20 years, the average person will say that is a successful marriage. We're not in the timeline of our grandparents, if you're my age, where they stay together regardless. Some of y'all got to realize that some of your grandparents wasn't actually bound to any paper, even though they say that's my wife, that's my husband. And that is why it was successful, because there was no contract involved. Here we bring in the common LAW, which is a real thing. And they will uphold that. I've talked about it. My grandparents were together over 50-something years without a contract. They were both bound to someone else when they met. That's important. So we peeling back the layers to these contracts. The 7-year ones come with a lot of strife. I'm telling you, the 7-year ones, those are the ones that'll make you say, I don't ever want to be married again. 7 years. Are you kept? Because that means you've established a pattern where you only want certain type. In my parents' era, they would say males that are kept are gigolos. You ever seen a gigolo? You know what I'm talking about? I seen one. I seen a short. He hopped out the car at a gas station. Body looking like, oh my. Y'all think y'all, I'm not finna pay no man's way. But here you are at the Ip Club making it rain. Y'all ever seen a male Ipper? Because I have. My goodness. You will say, where you learn that at? The males are the best to ever do it. Okay? Y'all think the females, you ain't seen a male one. You ain't lived. Which brings me to my dream, y'all. If it done been around, I have. I'm telling you. I done been there when they say last call, and they done opened it back up. They done opened it back up. We talking about after 2. It goes down after 2 in the male ones. You know what I'm talking about? I remember the first time I said, what in the... When you see a male Ipper, okay, you start thinking, I didn't bring enough money. But everybody in the front did. You know what I'm talking about? Because those are fans. They know where they gonna be at every time. Every time. I see one dude, he came out there. The ones with the cowboy hats is the ones to watch. Okay? I'm just telling you. He went to the, he knew where to go. She was sitting in the front in that chair, every bit of 500 pounds. Okay? And he took that chair and he flipped it up some kind of way. And I said, wow, he is grown. And you thinking like, why he over there? Because he kept. You know what I'm talking about? But after 2, they going where they want to be. You know what I'm talking about? They done already spotted you. Now, the show begins. You know what I'm talking about? Let me tell y'all. If they are picked right, it's something about the male ones. When you see them, they have that lastia all over. And that is enticing. You just lose your train of thought. Okay? Could you imagine working a 9 to 5, 60 hours a week, just so you could go see your favorite gigolo? Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? Apparently, this one feel like she gonna go in and she ain't gonna have to pay her weight. You know what I'm talking about? Cause she like $1.05 wet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going, he gonna see me, girl, he gonna see you and go the other direction. Because they kept. They know. You may or may not look good to them. That's not the issue. The issue is finance. Y'all used to them PIMPs. But gigolos, that's a whole other spectrum. You got to have a nice body and the look, the eyes matter when you're a gigolo. Now, because I haven't been to see any male Ippers in over 30 years, okay, I don't know what's out there, but I seen one on the book. I said, wow. I was just scrolling. It takes a lot to make me say something, okay? Because I've seen a lot of good-looking males and men. You know, I seen one on the book. I said, put your tongue back in your mouth, please. Lastia. I did do, like, they don't, it's not like the females. They do appearances. It'd be something like, I'm in your city. Come and see me. You know what I'm saying? Now all the men and males with wives is finna start checking those friends lists. Because they want to know why they wife be going out of town all the time on her girls trip. It's because she is following her gigolo. Talk to me now. You know they got that move when they go to the side and they do that little snake, and you be like, wow, flexible. It reminds me of like a Jamaican move or something, It takes skill to be able to do that. It's in the hips, Now, rain that lustia off of me. The big G, not the little one. All right. Let me get my thoughts together. Somebody finna have a fun weekend. Because I just gave her something to do. You know what I'm talking about? She said, all right. I can get something better than you. I'm just going to have to pay for it. And you is going to have to pay for it. Let me tell you. This is why there's so much connotation surrounding males with locks. They feel like the strength is in the hair. D'Artagnan is right. Now, don't don't think I'm talking about you. This is a certain look, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about my dream. I don't know why it is that the big G, not the little one, it feels like he can just put me wherever, you know? Y'all don't feel me. He feel like he can just put me wherever. And I'm like, didn't I ask before I shut my eyes for you not to do this? Greetings to everyone that came in. Van Glorious, I appreciate you. Listen, I said, yada, 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 womp, womp, womp. Well, and it was just like I was not heard. And I said, this is the reason why, okay? It starts with you. It starts with you. This is, when I get upset with the big G, not the little one, I tell him how I truly feel. I said, it starts with you. Okay, if you would treat me better, the world would treat me better. That's what I feel. Here I am at a mansion party. Okay? I don't know who eyes I'm looking through. This is the disturbing thing. But whoever they were, they had FEAR all over them. Okay? Now, I wasn't aware that that's what it was until after. But it's a whole bunch of females there. Now, this is a dream. Now, y'all got to understand, there are beings that are awake in their dreams. That means they're fully aware of who is in there. They are communicating, and they get it. They get what's taking place. It's a whole nother world, the dream state. There's all kind of stuff happening. All kind of stuff. It's like opening up the door to a different room. Only I don't open no doors. I just appear there. Y'all get what I'm talking about? I'm in there trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And all of a sudden, a door opened and I see Benzino. He looking at me and I'm like, Benzino, is that you? Because it must be a younger version. He trying to figure out why I'm there. And I'm trying to figure out why he there. And then all of a sudden I was moved. In the dream, I was trying to find a way out. And it looked like a Corvette or a Lambo was there. And I'm like, I'm going to get in this car. I'm going to get in this car. Then all of a sudden someone said, if you get in the car, it's just you're going to drive off and you're going to be right back to the same spot. Because apparently in his dream, that's what was happening. He was getting in his car trying to get away. And he was being driven right back to the same spot. I didn't get a chance to get in the car because I was taken out. Okay? Not literally, but I was taken out of that dreamscape. Okay? But the dreamscape is over, but this is a different type. That's been eradicated because the things that happen there, it would be so many just wanting to sleep all day. Just so they can access that dreamscape. I'm not talking about that one. This one was a mansion party. So, one of y'all celebrities is gonna have a mansion party. That's what I gather. And you don't know what type of being is gonna be there. But you gonna find out after. When either says things, because this is a type of life regular, normal people don't experience. You have to be in a certain circle to be able to go to a mansion party. Kind of makes you think that when you have these mansion parties, everyone that comes knows there's a certain protocol that happens when you get there. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't ever want to go to a mansion party because the things that I see on the walls, on the people, in the environment are things that'll make you say, oogly muggly, coogly boogly. What is that? That looks like it's dripping on the wall. That's not my energy. So I'm not missing out. But there's a certain group of females that I was watching intensely. They didn't know that that was me. Only certain types of beings and angels notice me in a dream state. I'm looking and I'm saying, I don't know who this is, but I bet you y'all do. Y'all that be having these mansion parties. There were several females, like at least about 40 females in one room. Some were just sitting there and didn't even realize that they were there. But this group, they were talking to each other. And so I'm watching her and I'm like, this one, she feel like she the ringleader. You know, I don't know who she is, but the industry do. And that's what's important. When someone like myself goes into something like that, that means something's gonna happen. So keep that in mind. You know, after you've been to one mansion party, frequently, they all the same. You're appreciated. Um, I make a lot of jokes about my observation of things, but my life is serious. You know, what I hope people gather from what y'all feel is a podcast, that's fair, whatever, is that there's a difference between females and women. They bring a different energy, they have a different perspective and a different approach. And because some have fame, influence, and affluence, when you make blanket statements like women ain't ish, women do yada yada yada, women do yada yada yada, and then you say, I'm about to go pick this female up, you know, stuff like that, you send a message. Now I'm going to ask you, would you rather have 100 skinny women sitting on a couch or 60 voluptuous queens sitting there? Because petite means you are short and fat. What happened to one good one? And this is why you have gigolos. They're needed to combat those that feel like because they have influence, they can mislead the masses, put their foot on the necks of black women, so to have a domino effect to their daughters, granddaughters, daughters. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like my job is interesting because my perspective, the currency that I receive is different from paper. When I said plastic was the new currency. Everybody was like, but now that we are here, you see that you can't do nothing without plastic. When we talk about great leaders in history, the ones that really made a difference, you don't hear them talking about 1,000 women. What you gonna do with 100 women? Like, let's be real. Some of y'all be talking a good game. Like, what you gonna do with 3? The nastiness, that's for young dudes. Me and you both know after 30 minutes it's a wrap. So why y'all be acting like y'all just finna have, a slicity fest when you know you're gonna be asleep in 45 minutes? The other two thinking about how many watches you got in that safe. And the one that you done mowed down, as you say, is on the phone in the bathroom trying to get some more of that Masiki, Mickey. Y'all remember that brief moment in time when certain famous people were talking about the things that was happening to them in other countries when they go and try to have a fest, see, play around there and let go if you want to. They said, come on over here. We got something for you. You see how evolution works? You make the money and you say, I'm only going to pay the Hasakanos. I'm gonna give this money to the Hasakanos. And then the Hasakanos oblige. And they give you what you desire. You wake up, your head's spinning. You don't know what happened. It takes you 3 days to figure out that your jewelry is missing. And you're sitting there like, I am sassafras. How they do that? Well, sassafras, you wanted someone exotic and they wanted your money. They weren't trying to be your baby mama, your employee. Could you imagine interviewing a Haskania that done milked so many in the industry that she's won a medal? She done won a medal for milking. I imagine somewhere they win medals. They so slick with it. You know, they got stamps on their passport. Y'all love that. They got stamps on their passport, but they know your type. They saying, God created me for you. You know what I'm talking about? And they don't have no quarrels about it. Because for them, it's a whole different world. They don't get a chance to experience what has, because they don't look perfect. Regular, you know. I'm gonna take you over here to Shasta, please, and get you a $500 meal. Because you are a high-class escort. She just a hissing for you. That's all. But you different. Look how perfect your legs are. And they say, okay, I want the ICF $300 glasses of wine. I would like to interview some of those ones. But I might have to wait until they get older. You know what I'm talking about? Because right now they hot and they don't want to stop their bag. You feel me? Either is something else. Either sure is. Because when the big G, not the little one, tells you to do something and you don't do it, it switches. Like she do when she walk. This is why so many males believe that it's all about looks and bodies. Because some of y'all have not mastered your lastia. See, the gigolo, okay, the gigolo has mastered his lastia. He's not letting his body go. Because 9 times out of 10, when he gets 60 or close to it, he's going to be kept anyway. The gigolo is different from somebody with fame that is a celebrity. They move different. They know they gotta do some type of something to get that woman or that female to keep them. She not looking for a baby daddy, a husband. She looking for a good. Could you imagine if you're a woman having enough money? Just who you going to have an experience with? And that's a whole world there. It's nothing like Shaba Zizi. And you get that ticket and it's every bit of $805.34. You saying for what? Everything tastes like cardboard. It's the experience. You're paying for the experience. You're paying to be able to go live, and you're paying to be able to say, look what I did. You can't do it ever because you're broke. That's what you're paying for. Dad, don't it make you feel vainglorious? When I think about all the single mothers that I passed up on just to be able to sit here with this high-class Isikina and pay her $1,000 and take her out to the most expensive restaurant that you could Google. And when I think about all of that, I feel proud. I've won an achievement. You know that song, the popular one, every other city we go, every other video. Because they do. Could you imagine bringing a high-class Isikina to a mansion party and everybody shake their head and laugh? She got her one. And they don't say nothing. They don't say nothing. Because they done asked you for 5 racks and you act like you didn't see it. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? Either is POOR, so she's scoring. Either is not scoring. That's high class Sakina is. That's a different type of strange and unusual. I would like to see her move when she's scoring. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing compared to when I'm scoring. You feel me? It's a whole different type of energy. A whole different type. I imagine there is some gigolo practicing his moves, okay, right now, so he can get your wife. He ain't trying to keep her. She already kept. He just wants some of your money on a slick slide. You know what I'm talking about? She's sitting back in that Versace robe, matching one that y'all got. She would go live, but then she got you. She wants you to see. So when you're off to buy, make sure you check up on her and tell her you love her every 7 hours. Because that is a requirement for her. Now you can see me at PEKA69. Because I put you up on game. That is it.